Rangers fans, today we are here with Zac Jones, one of our picks from the 2019 NHL draft. So first off, Zac, thanks for joining us. Hope you're doing well.
Thanks for having me. I just trying to get through this quarantine.
Yes, we are all trying to get through the quarantine, which is the perfect segue into our first question, which is from Ella. And she wants to know, number one, what are you doing during quarantine to keep yourself busy? And number two, where are you quarantining right now?
Recently, I just say I've been working out a lot. I mean, trying to rollerblade outside. I live in a cul-de-sac in Richmond, Virginia, so that's where I am right now. And so I've just been trying to rollerblade, work out, and just get my schoolwork done.
So we've been seeing a lot of you hockey guys starting to rollerblade now to try to keep in skating shape. And everyone is very curious, how does that compare to, strides and stuff on ice? Like, is it a good representation? Just kind of talk us through the logic behind that and why it's good for you guys to be doing right now.
Yeah, I'd say, it's pretty similar to ice skating, but, there's obviously differences with stopping and stuff. If I'm trying to stop on the concrete outside, I'll probably face plant, whereas on the ice, if I do it, I'll be pretty good at it. So, it's just different. Having to stop, having to turn, but it's pretty similar to skating, so it's been good to do that since all the rinks are closed here.
Awesome. All of our fans always want to know what shows you're watching, what you're binge watching, and if there's anything new that you can recommend to them.
I'm watching Money Heist right now. That's a pretty good show. I've been watching the Jordan documentaries too. That's been pretty good. So other than that, nothing new. I haven't been watching anything that's recently come out.
Awesome. Well, the Jordan doc is a good place to start.
That is, yeah.
Let's think back to last summer, your first development camp with the Rangers. If you had to be quarantined with one teammate from that camp, who would you pick?
I'd probably pick Keandre Miller just because I knew him from the World Juniors and stuff, and I grew pretty close with him at the tournament this December. So I'd say he's a pretty cool guy to hang out with every once in a while.
So let's dig into your World Juniors experience a little bit. Just going through those camps, trying to make the team, and finally getting that validation, making it, getting to have that experience. Just how cool was that for you, and what was it like?
Yeah, it was awesome. Playing that tournament's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You dream about that every day as a kid. Growing up watching that tournament every year, it was an awesome experience to be able to play in that and to be able to be a part of that team. It was the toughest team I've ever had to make in my life, and you're playing against the best players in the world every day, trying to make that team, and then once you make it, you're playing against the best players all around the world. So it was a great experience for me overall.
So you got to play with Keandre and maybe against one of our other defensive prospects in Nils Lundkvist.
Yes.
So what's kind of your take on their game? Anything that you could learn from them? Anything they could learn from you?
Yeah, Keandre is an awesome guy. Watching him at the tournament, he can dominate games on his own. He's just that skilled with the puck. He's just that big. He's that dominant on the ice. You're going to a corner with a guy that's 6'4", looks like a football player. He's a scary guy to go into the corner with. He can just take over games. Nils Lundkvist, when you're watching him, he's so calm with the puck. He reminds me a lot of Erik Karlsson. Both Swedish guys. Both right-hand shots, not the biggest guys, but he's so calm with the puck, and he could just make plays in the offensive zone. And they're both tremendous defensemen. So, it's going to be hopefully exciting to play with them hopefully in the future.
Awesome. Jeff wants to know, which NHLer have you looked up to during your hockey career? And then two-part question, as a current Rangers prospect, if you could ideally pick one guy to pair with in your first NHL game, who would you choose?
So I guess I'd say the biggest guy I've looked up to growing up was Torrey Krug. He came in the league, I think, probably 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. But watching him, a smaller defenseman, he's somebody that I've always looked up to. And then somebody to play my first NHL game with, I'd say Keandre because he's but he's a left shot, so I'd probably say Adam Fox.
Not a bad choice there. Another one of the questions comes from Anthony, and you sort of just answered it, but the Torrey Krug comparison obviously comes up a lot, the NCAA tie, the kind of the size element, but is he kind of the most likely NHL comparison that you hear a lot about yourself?
Yes, 100%. I mean, just based off size and offensive instincts and stuff, I mean, I'd definitely say he's the biggest person I get related to.
Awesome. What do you think is the first thing that you are going to want to do once the quarantine ends?
Oh, go to the beach. I love the beach. I haven't been in so long. I need to go there now.
Yes, don't we all? This isn't a question. It just comes from our fan, Alan, and he just wanted to tell you that, and he included a photo of you from UMass. He said, I saw him play this year, and I thought he was one of the best skaters on the ice. So thanks, Alan.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate that.
Will wants to know what was going through your mind when you first got drafted.
Nothing. I don't even remember it. I couldn't tell you what happened when I first got drafted until I probably had the first interview. I had blacked out during that time.
You were so excited to hear
I was
your
so
name called
excited. I don't even know what I was thinking. I couldn't tell you what was happening during that time or anything.
Yeah, very cool. Rebecca wants to know, growing up, thinking back, who was your favorite player to watch? Defenseman or not?
When I was younger, my favorite player used to be Danny Heatley. So he was used to be him and then Eric Carlson. Those were my two guys growing up. And then once Torrey Krug came in the league, I kind of just started watching him more, and he became my favorite player.
Emily wants to know, off-ice question here. What is your favorite music to listen to?
Favorite music? Probably have to say rap or country.
Nice. Any songs or albums you want to recommend to our fans here?
I've been listening to a lot of the Lil Baby new album and stuff, and a lot of country songs. Just Luke Combs, Zach Brown Band. Those are my two biggest country artists.
Good stuff. Leah wants to know, when you watch games, Rangers games, if you have the chance to take some of those in, what are kind of your thoughts on, you mentioned Adam Fox before, but just kind of the roles that younger defensemen and younger players in general have been able to play on this team? What are kind of your thoughts on that? And does that maybe encourage you a little bit and make you think about where you could fit in? Just how do you respond when you see that happening from afar?
Yeah, I mean, obviously watching Adam Fox play this year, he was a tremendous asset for them. I mean, he's first-year guy, but he came in and he was a guy that looked like he had been there for 10 years. The Rangers staff just like gave him a chance to play, and that was probably the biggest thing that I've noticed out of the younger guys that have been in the organization. So that's something that coming into the team, into the organization, it's definitely something encouraging to look up to, that you know that if you come in and you earn your role, and then once you get a chance, if you it doesn't matter how old you are, you can keep your role and keep playing for a while.
So you got to see Fox last year at development camp. You guys got to kind of experience your first one together. And people always like to talk about, being surprised by how good he is when they see him, play up close and personal. Did you kind of have the same experience? Are you surprised at all about the level of success he's been able to have, having seen him play last summer at dev camp?
At first, when I saw him at development camp, I was completely shocked. Like, I had no idea he was this good. And then once I saw his success in the NHL, I was not surprised, just because after the fact that I saw him at development camp and saw him up close, he was unbelievable. He was so good at development camp. It was scary.
Awesome. Mike wants to know, what are your best memories from development camp and maybe your favorite experiences that you guys were able to have off the ice?
I'd say just getting to go and see Madison Square Garden, go to see I don't know what the restaurant was called. We went to some really nice restaurant right after that. Went to a Yankees game. That was those are all pretty cool experiences for somebody that's from the South, going to places like New York. It's something pretty cool to do. So it was pretty cool to get to go see the Yankees play, who I'm a big fan of, which was my whole family's from New York. So that was fun for me.
Good stuff. This fan didn't leave their name, but they want to know what has been your favorite thing about UMass so far, whether it's on the ice or off the ice, just the college experience. What's been your favorite part?
I'd say, I mean, just overall, like the entire college experience has been awesome for me, and especially at UMass. I mean, playing there has been great at the Mullins Center. I mean, the fans, the students, everybody there is just tremendous. The whole culture of the team, everything about UMass has just been great. I mean, the food is tremendous. It's a pretty top-notch school, and I've been lucky to call that place my home the last year.
And this is our final question. You might have to think for a second.
Okay.
But what has been your most memorable hockey experience to date, if you had to pick one?
Ooh. I'd say, I mean, just getting to play in the World Juniors last year. That tournament is something. I mean, obviously, I played in the World Junior the year before, and that tournament we won, and it was a great experience for me. But just getting to play in that tournament against the best players in the world, just that tournament was awesome. There's no experience, I think, unless I win the Stanley Cup or something happens like that. Nothing will come close to that for a while.
Good stuff. Well, Zac, thank you so much for joining us. Our fans are going to be super excited to hear your responses. So we want to thank you and stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much, guys.